Michael Pichardo to the stage. Michael is the son of Cuban immigrants and is a senior at Washington University studying in the engineering program. He's passionate about creating a path between engineering and business. He is also the co-founder of the Washington University chapter of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. In his role, WashU Chef has hosted resume workshops, speaker panels, recruitment events, and engineering week with successful alumni and other professionals. Please help me in welcoming Michael.
Some people said having a written speech is old-fashioned, and I'm here to prove you wrong. So when I was thinking about opening, the speech, I was thinking about bringing up some stats about how many Hispanic millionaires we have in St. Louis, or maybe the percentage of Latino CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. But I wanted to open up with something that many members in the audience can relate to: Instagram. Don't get me wrong, they've been making changes to it because it's not really representative of the real world, and it causes anxiety for some people. But for me, when I was opening my account, I thought long and hard about what my bio was gonna be. And I decided to go with the quote that I've sort of adopted as my mantra and kind of guides my life. Never forget where you come from. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Pichardo, and I'm the son of 2 Cuban immigrants who came to this country with nothing. And I'm now a senior at WashU, double majoring in systems engineering and finance. Like many of you, I understand the struggle of having immigrant parents who are trying to succeed in this country, but are held back because their English is their second language. Just today, actually, when we were sitting and having our dinner and speaking to the community, I met a woman today with a similar story as my parents. So that really touched my heart. My parents came to the U.S. by different means, and they worked hard when they arrived. My mom started as a cajera in un supermercado latino, and my dad cleaned manholes, and in Spanish we say manjoles, during graveyard shifts when I was a kid. And they met in night school where they were both trying to chase their version of the American dream. They made it out of their initial jobs and reached more stability. I had everything I needed growing up. I can't complain. Okay, I mean, sometimes when I went to the grocery store and I really wanted a chocolatico, a little chocolate for those of you who don't speak Spanish, my mom would say, "Tú no necesitas eso. You don't need that." I was like, okay. My parents made sacrifices so I could live a normal life and never feel like I was missing out. At work, they maintained at the same level for far too long, and they never really had the opportunity to move up, even when they had the most experience. And in high school, that's when I realized that it's because they didn't speak English well and they didn't have an American degree. For me, I noticed at that moment that the only way for me to move up the ladder was with an education. I got good grades, I got involved in clubs and sports outside of the classroom, and I spent every weekend of my junior year watching YouTube videos and practicing for the SAT, ACT, so I could get a good score. It was hard, but I was the first of my family to go to college in America. I always find it weird to give advice to people my own age because my accomplishments aren't really greater or worse than most college students. But I've still learned a thing or two in my life experiences and the people I look up to. My first objective today is to tell you the importance of a college education. This is the land of opportunity, and with a college degree, the sky's the limit. When I first came to college, I only received a scholarship for tuition, which I'm grateful for because at WashU it's like $53,000 a year. But I was still worried about my living expenses. So it took hard work, but I'm grateful and thankful for the Hispanic Scholarship Alliance and the respective scholarships here for making it easier for me, especially in a time where my family was in a very tight economic spot. You know, my grandmother was very sick in Cuba when I started college, and my parents spent a lot of money sending back to nurses and to maintain our other respective family members. The point here is, if there's a will, there's a way. Nowadays, like we've seen just today, there are so many opportunities out here for Hispanic students, and it definitely makes the process easier for us. Don't let the sticker price or the cost hold you back from getting a college degree. My second message for you all is don't be afraid to reach out. I genuinely believe that people are good people, and they love sharing their experiences. And if you ever need advice, just look up to and you like someone that's older, don't be afraid to reach out. I mean, just give a Cuban guy a drink of Bacardi con Coca-Cola, which some people say the Cuba Libre, other people call it La Mentirita, and they'll talk for hours. There are a lot of older people who have gone what you've gone through, so don't be afraid, and they really understand. My third objective here today is the vision I have for the great Latino population here in St. Louis. Every time I'm out and about in the city, it's always a pleasant experience when I meet a Latino and speak Spanish. De verdad que es algo muy especial. I believe in 10 years, there will be more successful Hispanics in this city. We are the fastest growing minority and increasingly shaping the future of our country. We don't need other people who don't understand us generalizing who we are and saying what we can and cannot do. We don't just need leaders who claim to understand us and our problems. We need leaders from our community, and we need to represent ourselves and change the status quo. I believe in each and every one of you. You're blessed for living in this great country where there are opportunities for you to succeed if you work hard. As you embark on your journey, always remember the mantra, never forget where you came from. Use it to fuel your aspirations. We owe it to our previous generations and their hardships to be a better version of what they ever imagined we could be. This speech would be incomplete without expressing my deepest gratitude to the Hispanic Scholarship Alliance. So thank you to Jaime Torres, Antonio Maldonado, Ivan Ortiz, Chris Parker, Santiago Beltran, and countless others who have carved the path for me to graduate debt-free. And the best way to thank them is to continue doing what they did for me and others like me. Don't forget to do your bit and empower young Hispanics trying to get ahead in this country once you make it. As I said before, never forget where you come from. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. So now is the time that everybody were waiting for.